Jeff Cooper, in The Art of the Rifle, refers to the rifle as the queen of personal weapons. It is a queen. It is therefore a she, her. Yes, rifles have pronouns. And in this day and age, doesn't everything, right? So, however, rifles are not women. And it's really important to understand this. And I'm going to illustrate to you why really easily. This is my shiny new rifle. This is the Sig Cross. I've been using the Sig Cross now for a couple of months, and I've been getting used to the handling characteristics of the trigger, of the manual at arms. I've been out in the hunting field. I've been at the range. I've been doing all sorts of things with it, and I'm really, really happy with this rifle. This rifle is living up to expectations, and I'm going to do a full review of it at some point. I'm not quite ready for that yet. But to illustrate this, these are not people. Let me show you. The other day, I brought this out to the range. It is okay to go back and play with your old rifle. And when you pull out your old rifle and you start using it, it's okay to recognize that the old rifle actually does some things better than the new one. And that's all right. So what I'm reminding myself of is what made the Steyr Scout rifle such an incredible rifle to begin with. It is not obsolete, contrary to what Grand Thumb may be getting out there. This thing is pretty incredible for what it was designed for, and you've got to remember what it was designed for. This is the one-gun solution for everything that a rifle is supposed to be able to do within the parameters of the ranges that it was intended for. And if you read Cooper, you know that the ranges really are about maximum point blank range, maybe a little bit longer. Yes, it can go longer, but that's not what it was intended for. What it was intended for is arm's length out to about 300 yards. And within those parameters, this thing is amazing. The stock design. The stock design makes this thing so handy. It just wants to jump to your shoulder. It puts your thumb right on top of the safety, right where it should be. It is incredibly smooth for cycling the bolt. The magazine on this thing, I'm sorry, this is better. It is just better. Because it's a double stacked magazine, it's easier to load both outside the gun and in the gun. And yes, I've seen people tell me, oh, well, I can load an AICS magazine through the magazine port. Really? Can you do that in the field? Show me you doing that in the field, and then maybe we'll talk. I've seen guys do it when it's in a bench, but if you've got the gun up here and you try loading bullets into the magazine, you can do it with this magazine. You really can't with an AICS. Now, AICS has some advantages. Obviously, you've got the bigger capacity magazines. They're just ubiquitous. They're everywhere. But in terms of the function in this gun, this magazine is pretty good. The other thing about this rifle, the trigger is just absolutely sublime. There's just no movement after the sear trips, and it makes it just a joy to shoot. It's accurate. It is handy. It is handy to the point where no other rifle I've ever handled just wants to come up and wants to be carried in the field like this one. If you're not carrying them in the field, you're not going to recognize how big of a difference this is. If it's a range toy, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that are great. But in terms of actually carrying it in the field, this is amazing. Now, the new rifle is also pretty amazing too. It gives up some things on handiness, and it gives up some things in terms of the shorter and intermediate range. But what it picks up is pretty amazing too. So the goal with this was to try and figure out how to not lose everything that the Scout rifle has, but add on a bunch of other things. And I think it does that. But there's no shame in coming back to your old rifle and realizing that old rifle still does some stuff that the new one just can't match. So with that, just a reminder, don't forget about the old guns in your closet. Maybe pull them out every now and then. Remind yourself of what made them work so well for you in the first place. They are not women. You're not cheating on anyone by doing that. I'm Steve Clifford. Hope that wasn't too creepy. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.